Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm doing my official Q&A video, and instead of doing a talking head video like I did last time, I'm walking the dog today, so hopefully we can get some good shots and make it a little less boring. But I'm sure these are a lot of questions that you guys have been asking throughout the entirety of my YouTube career since the last Q&A, and probably some that we've gone over already, but I'm going to answer them again. So Dakota's getting antsy, so I think we're going to start walking, and I'll just start off with a few easy questions and we'll get into it. Dakota pulls a little bit at first on our walks, but some of the questions that I get on my YouTube channel are actually questions that a lot of people don't think to ask when I post those Q&A posts, but there's two really big ones that I get asked quite often, and the first one is, how old am I? And I'm 27. I don't know if that's the same as last time. I think I did my Q&A when I was 26, or maybe I was 27. I don't remember. But the second one is, what actually do I do? So as far as working for a trucking company or owning a trucking company or whatever, I own my own trucking company, but I am also a W-2 driver of my own company. So I still drive, but I also manage the trucks and the drivers and everything else, and I also have a lot of people that help me, so associate managers and such. So the first official question is from David Weber. Are you hiring team drivers? If so, how do I contact your company? I'm currently driving as a contract driver for FedEx out of Florida. So in order to contact the company, I'll put the email down below. I'll also put it in the description. Generally, you just email that email, and that is my assistant. My assistant will get back to you and ask you like a whole bunch of questions about your experience and so on, and then we'll also make sure that you're qualified to drive for FedEx. The second question is from Matthew Creed Fowler. If you were given the opportunity, would you be on one of those trucking shows? For example, Ice Road Truckers or Shipping Wars. Funny story is, I think, who is it? Ice Road Truckers was going to do a season 9 or 10, I don't remember what it was, but they did contact me, and they ran out of money. So I guess that answers that question. I was definitely considering it at the time, because I'd always wanted to do it since I was little, because I remember watching them when I would come home from middle school, I think, or high school. I really don't remember. But I always thought, wow, that would be so cool to do that. So yes, absolutely, I would have done that one, but it actually didn't pan out. So our third question is, do you have any advice for someone with anxiety thinking about getting into the trucking industry? And they also put a second question on here, how do doubles park for the night at truck stops? Well, about the anxiety piece, I don't think there's really any help as far as like anxiety. If you're an anxious person, you're an anxious person, and you have to find ways to kind of cope with that. For me, it was always recognizing when I was scared, or when things were like, if I knew if I stopped breathing, like if I was holding my breath, then I was stressed out. So remembering to breathe really helped me, especially when it came to taking my CDL exams, because I did it with, I know some schools do it with, I guess, third-party examiners, but I actually did mine with a DOT officer, and that was really super nerve-wracking. So that's really my only advice for that. So how do doubles park for the night at truck stops? Well, that's a funny story. Doubles can't really back up. If you haven't noticed, we can't actually park in parking spots, so we either need a pull through, or a lot of us will sit along the edges of just around where the concrete barriers are. As long as it's not red, we generally just make a spot, and that's really all we can do. Or we'll either choose an on or an off ramp. But if you're hauling doubles, you're usually hauling for an LTL company, and we don't sit very long. So the longest they'll be there is probably like 2 hours, I would say, unless the interstate's shut down for some reason, and then it's a bit of a mess if you have a lot of doubles because we have nowhere to go.
I should be free, but I'm hoping that we could be something in the end, something more than friends.
Jonathan Vent asks, trucking has historically been a male-dominated industry. I was wondering if you faced gender equality issues and how you have dealt with them. Love the channel and keep up the good work. Well, thank you, Jonathan. And honestly, I really don't like these kind of questions because I don't know. I feel like a lot of different people are suited for a lot of different jobs, and it doesn't matter what your gender is. But as far as getting treated differently, not really. I've had the door slammed in my face a couple of times, just from ignorant people, and then also I've heard some people talk bad on the CB, but some people just like to stir up a mess. But on the other hand, I've also been helped out a lot, and I have to say there are a lot of people that are a lot nicer to me, maybe because I am a girl, I don't know, but I tend not to really think about it, and I don't really I don't know. I really don't think there is that much discrimination when it comes to females getting into trucking. So if you're a girl, come on. Gina Kang asks, what are your favorite and least favorite states to drive through and why? This one is kind of a hard one. I have to say that I have a lot of, I guess, mixed emotions when it comes to different states. I think when I go over to like Florida, which is my, my state that I grew up in, I feel a little bit nostalgic, and so I generally like driving through that one because I don't get to do it very often. And then I also like driving through Utah because I have a home here. So that makes me excited when oh, we got a sniff. That gets me excited when I get really close to home. I think I also enjoy driving through Wyoming because it's wide open, you don't really have a lot of traffic, and it's just really easy to just, you know, put down the miles. As far as the states that I don't really care to drive through, Oklahoma's kind of boring to me on the interstate. The back roads and stuff, there are some small towns that are super cool. Kansas on, what is it, 40 or 70? It's 70. 70 is kind of boring through Kansas. It's just straight and there's nothing out there. But then I just look forward to food and other places that I get to stop. And the cool thing about Kansas is there's some Starbucks that you can get to at the Petros there. So, you know, give and take for every state. Okay, the next question is from Mason, and I am sorry, but I am not going to try to butcher your last name. But your question is, why did I pick Freightliner? That's kind of like a big question. Generally, I'm more familiar with Freightliners. I've helped manage the maintenance of a lot of Freightliners in my work history, and so I'm just really familiar with the problems that come with them. But also, out of all the trucks I've driven, I like them the best. As far as living over the road, and especially being a team driving truck, it's really well designed on the inside for optimal like team living. And I feel like out of all of the, I don't know, I always call them the bubble trucks. Out of all the bubble trucks, I like them the best. And there's probably a lot more reasons that I could come up with that are better than this, but generally that's why I picked them. So Chris Jarkowski asks, do you have your manual transmission endorsement? I don't think I've seen you drive one. Do you have any manual transmission trucks in your fleet? And the answer is it's not an endorsement. You only have a restriction if you can only drive automatics. I do not have the restriction, so therefore I can. But I don't have any in my fleet, and honestly that's because a lot of people are going through the schools right now where they are getting that automatic restriction, so it allows me to open my driving pool to not only the people who can drive a manual but also people who are strictly restricted to automatics. So that's why I choose to have automatic trucks at this moment until I get some drivers that I maybe like a little bit too much, and I will get them their own truck of whatever they want it to be. Richard Henry asks, how did y'all come up with the name Happiness by the Mile? So I actually wrote an Instagram post on this. What day was this? January 15th, 2020. I came up with the name back in 2018 or 2017, I don't remember which. But this caption I feel really encompasses what I'm trying to say, but I'll stumble over my words, so bear with me. Do you ever stop and appreciate where you are in this very moment? Do you think of the very breath you are breathing or the sensations you're feeling? Notice how fleeting all of this reality is. Sometimes I catch myself in such a hurry to get to the destination, realizing how much I'm missing by putting all of my focus on the future that does not or may never exist. This is not to say that I don't have goals I plan to accomplish in the future, but I put most of my effort in appreciating the journey and I am experiencing here and now, because this is where life happens. And then I wrote, this is the concept behind Happiness by the Mile. So basically, I just wanted people not to focus so much on chasing a paycheck as they're driving across the country, but experience everything that you get to experience, like your life on the road. So that's where I come up with like stopping in Yellowstone for my lunch breaks and things like that. I try to take full advantage of recognizing how I feel and what I'm experiencing, because I don't want life to necessarily pass me by. Okay, so Tyler Tucker asks, is being out on the road worth the beautiful scenery? And I honestly have to say, it's not wonderful all the time, but the times that it is, it's really freaking awesome. And I'm sure BKM will put some awesome clips in here for you guys to check out. Yes. So this is actually Dakota's favorite pastime, and wherever we go, she never fails to find a stick, and we always have to put it in the side box for her so that way she can have it for later, just in case we stop someplace where there's not a stick. But these are her favorite things to chew on. She's not a chewer on anything but sticks. It's really weird. But I feel like this is a perfect opportunity to talk about this question from Samir Rose. He says, my last one is for Dakota. How is life with Shelby? So Dakota, how is your life with me? Okay. Okay, since we're gonna kind of make official stick chewing time, Tristan asks, which I'm only answering the first one, do you haul triples in Oregon? First of all, I do have my doubles and triples endorsement, just like anybody who goes out there. If you get your doubles, you get your triples. But as far as hauling triples, I do not haul triples for FedEx. They have some requirements. I'm not sure if I meet them. They used to have a 5-year experience hauling doubles requirement, but I think they may have lowered it to 3 years. If so, then I do qualify. But I think you have to go through some process, but I'll look into it. I don't really know the answer to that, but no, I've never hauled triples. The longest thing that I've hauled is a Rocky Mountain double set for Albertsons when I was hauling for another contractor. Alright, what's this one? Okay, Mark Skeet Johnson. I hope that's your real name. What do you think of the electronic logging process and where do you see it heading in the future? I don't know where I see it heading in the future, but I can tell you that I'll probably make a ton of people happy right now and tell you that I really don't care for it. I don't care for any of the hours of service rules. I know why they were implemented, and they were implemented for a good reason, but there's just been a lot of things that make driving a lot harder for us out on the road, and especially if somebody messes up their log, because now that we have the ELDs, if you accidentally drive on an ELD, you cannot remove that drive time from a driver, and it really, really messes things up. Even if it's just like a little crawl and they accidentally did it, it makes life really, really hard, and I think they should really back off. But, you know, it is what it is, and we kind of just got to work with it, don't we? Alex asks, what are your thoughts of the future of trucking, self-driving trucks, and that sort of thing? Is there a future for people just breaking into the industry? I think the industry will change. I think I said this in my last Q&A. I don't know, it's bringing back memories. But there will always be a need for skilled drivers as far as it coming to parking, especially in downtown areas. I don't think there'll ever be self-driving trucks in heavily downtown areas. Also, when it comes to doubles, you're going to need somebody to hook them up. I don't know if it'll be a yard worker or what, but for smart driving trucks, we're going to need smart roads, and we don't have smart roads right now, and it'll take a good amount of time to get smart roads. So depending on what your plan is in getting into trucking, somebody could definitely jump in right now, spend the next 5 or 10 years in trucking, and I think you will be solid as far as having a job or having something to do. I think trucking is a good industry to make a good amount of income, especially if you are a single person or somebody who doesn't mind having a nomadic life and doesn't need like a place to stay. You can save a lot of money. Trust me, I did it. And it's been really, really good to me. I know some people it's not the same and it doesn't work for everybody, and don't expect it to. So you just kind of have to try it out for yourself, and you have to kind of weigh your pros and cons. But as far as what I think our industry is changing, but it's not going anywhere. Miller asks, what do you use for navigation when OTR, over the road? And I haven't used a GPS for two years, maybe longer, almost 3 years now. And that's pretty much because most of the things that I do are FedEx or regional, and I know my way around. The West isn't that hard. And then also FedEx provides us these routing sheets, which is basically a table that just tells you which roads you should be going down. It's kind of complicated, but it does the job, and I haven't had to use anything but an atlas and those routing sheets in quite a long time. This is my favorite question and the final one. Jesse Sager asks, what What's your favorite vegetable and why? Okay, it's okay, calm down. My favorite vegetable, I don't even know, does it qualify? It's a root. Potatoes. I love potatoes. I'm not sure that needs an explanation, but you can make anything and everything out of potatoes, and I just love potatoes. I don't know. Alright, so that's it for this video, and thank you so much if you've made it all the way to the end. If you have any more questions, go ahead and add them down below in the comments. I'll try to get to them if I can. Also, like and subscribe. It helps the channel, and then also watch more of my videos. It really, really helps the algorithm because I think it's punishing me since my hiatus when I had that the family emergency, and so far YouTube hasn't been too kind to me, so I'd really appreciate it if you help me out. Also, I started a new channel called Happiness by the Virtual Mile. If you are into American Truck Simulator, go ahead and check that out. I'm sure BKM will put it in some bubble down below here, and then it'll also be linked in the description. And I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being part of this amazing community, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Sit.
Sit. Sit.
Lay. Down. Paw. Paw.
She's like, I'm trying to get you to just
Paw. Go girl.